tool in a bag that you never use. If you don't use tools that you have in a bag, they're worthless. So my name is Damani Nkosi, and what I'm here, my responsibility in the group is to teach the wholesale section of what we do here at FIRE, Financial Intelligence and Real Estate. I'm a professional wholesaler, and what I do is go out and hunt down motivated sellers to purchase homes, put homes under the contract. Well, not necessarily purchase homes, I'm going to get that right, but put homes under contract to pass them off to investors like my buddy here, Aziz. Me and Aziz work hand in hand. Any deal I find first, I call Aziz, and Aziz either tell me, yeah, I want it, or no, I don't. I'm going to go a little bit more into how I go about. For the longest, what I've been doing, I don't know if you noticed, but here in the state of Texas, every first Tuesday of the month, there's a tax sale auction and there's a foreclosure auction. I get a list from an organization called foreclosehouston.com, and it's a paid service that you can subscribe to, and they will print up everything that's going to be sold at the first Tuesday auction, 30 days before the auction. And what I do is I take that list, and on the weekends, mainly Sundays, I do it during the weekdays too, I actually go out and knock on these people's door and ask them, hey, listen, my name is Damani Nkosi, I'm a property specialist, I help people facing foreclosure. I wonder if you need a hand. That's exactly what I say. So don't ever think this is an abracadabra, you got to know some big fancy lingo. You want to extend a hand to people, and people who are wise, they're going to take that hand. You know, sometimes you'll come to people's houses that they're so in love with the house that they can't imagine losing it. And the thing is that either they're gonna sell or they're gonna lose it. Those are the only two options. They're either gonna pay up those back fees or they're gonna lose it. And it's just as simple as that. But when you're in love with your house, sometimes you can't see it. And I'll tell you that I know that firsthand because I've actually been through foreclosure a while back, and I was that exact person. I was so into my feelings about that this was my house and couldn't nobody take it. And instead of thinking rationally, I let my pride get into the way where I wind up losing a house that 1 million people came and knocked on the door and offered to buy it from me, but I was so prideful. So I'm saying that to say this, you know, if you find yourself in that position, don't be prideful. When these people are coming to help you, take some help, you know what I'm saying? Because it's better to make a little money and get on to your next chapter in life rather than having to start that chapter in life at ground zero without a dime. And a lot of times that's what happens to a lot of people, that they start up. What happens is that some investor buys it at the bank, and then he'll show up a couple weeks later with an eviction notice. Whereas had you took heed to the people that were knocking on your door prior to that, then you could have got some help. Going back to what I'm saying, what I do is I go out here and knock on the doors. I'm in the process of shifting that, because with all of this technology out here, although I'm very good at going out and knocking on doors, it's a very inefficient way to come across buyers and sellers, especially in the era of Facebook. You know, I can go out on a weekend and maybe, you know, with daylight savings time, maybe 6 or 7 houses. During a weekday, I could probably do about 24, 25 houses, knock on a bunch of doors. It's a numbers game. It's strictly a numbers game. And you got to have thick skin, and you can't be worried about somebody saying no. You got to understand that you're a perfect stranger knocking on somebody's door asking about their finance. What you think they're going to say to you? You know, but the thing is what you can learn here in this group, and I'll tell you, you know, what you can learn here in this group is what to say, because the first thing they're going to say to you is, we already got it taken care of. So you got to launch a question. You can let them shoo you off the doorstep like that, or you can go into a question that's going to bring some information out. What I usually say when they say that to me is like, what are you working on? A modification? Since you already got it taken care of, let me do this. Let me be your plan B. You know, understand this, that plan B is always going to turn into plan A. You know, if they allow you to let them be the plan B, you're going to turn into plan A, because the plan that they're working, the bank is just bullying them. The bank ain't really trying to, you know, there are instances where banks will do modifications, but usually what they'll do is they'll have you fill out these large stack of paper, send them in, you sitting there thinking that they're processing your stuff, and then you call back and they say, well, we didn't receive this, you need to send the whole packet. It's a game they play, especially in that market like Houston, where real estate is hot. They know they can take it back and sell it at auction and make more money. They clear about that. So what you can do as an investor, especially if you're a person who has a little bit of money to invest in real estate, the best way you can get involved in it is door knocking. You can team up with us here in Fire, and I'll personally take you out and show you. But the thing is that I don't pull teeth out of dragons. And what I mean by that is that if you're sincere about going out there and you call me and say, D, I want to go out with you, I'm going to tell you I'm going to be here at 2 o'clock and we're going to hit our first door at 3 o'clock. If you ain't there at 2 o'clock, I'm not calling you. I'll be there and I'll be going out. So if you're sincere, you can come, go, and you'll learn exactly how I do it. And like I say, we'll get into it, but what I plan on doing is we're shifting, because although I'm very effective, that is a very inefficient way to gain motivated sellers. With this era of Facebook, you can put an ad in different neighborhoods and expose it to 3,000, 4,000 people instead of 5 or 6 on a Sunday, 25 on a Monday. You know, so my whole point is that you got to work as smart as you can, or work as smart as your money can allow you to work. I'm speaking to people who want to get into this business and have very little money. All you got to do is go out here and get this list. You connect with one of us here, say, hey, look, I need the list, and you can do it whether you live on the Northwest, Northeast, whatever. I'll give you a list, and you can work your area only. And all I need you to do is get an appointment. All I need you to do is knock on the door and say, hey, my name is whatever your name is. I work with a group of investors who help people facing foreclosure. We were wondering if you need a hand. And if they say yes, say, oh, if they say, well, what can you do for me? Say, well, ma'am, sir, I don't do that part of the business. All I do is introduce you to the investors who get it done, and I'll set up in a meeting with you, and they'll come out and sit down with you and tell you what you need to do. So to make a long story short, if you can do something like that, you can start your inroads into real estate. Because at that point, if you get that appointment, you call me and say, hey, Damani, I got us an appointment. I'll come out and run the appointment, and not only would you get to see how it goes, you know, you'll really start to get your feet wet. And we won't, for that service, that's a consultant service that we do here. So, you know, sitting in these classes, we have very little time, because I will go over it with you all right here, because quite honestly, I love it. You know, that's what I do for a living, and it's fun to me, you know. And I don't mind sharing it with people, but I don't mind sharing it with people who are going to take action on it. You know, like Karan said, it's worthless to have knowledge and don't use it. You know, and I'm willing to give you the knowledge, but the implementing, if you want me to hold your hand and show you how to do it, that's a service that we provide here, and we have no problem doing that, and we can talk about that a little later. But one thing I want to kind of, you know, because they're starting to crack down on this throughout the country, is that as a wholesaler, you're not actually selling a house. What you're selling is a contract. You know, you put a house under contract, and then you're selling your interest in that contract to a third-party investor. So you don't want to ever, you know, to keep yourself out of legal trouble, don't ever say, I'm selling a house, I'm selling a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. If you go to advertising in a public forum, what you tell these people is that I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom contract for sale. You don't say a house, because if you say you're a house and you're not a licensed agent, you can get into trouble for that. And understand that. So, you know, we want to teach you the right way about going about doing this business. You know, I get up here and talk forever, but it really ain't about me just running my mouth. Are there any questions from anybody who's interested in wholesaling? Is there anything you would like to know that, you know, and if there is, just please raise your hand, and I'll answer any question I can to the best of my ability about wholesaling. But the name of the game is to get in front of a motivated seller and get them to say, hey, how can you help me? So, go ahead.
Excuse me, how would you present a contract?
When you say how do you present a contract, in what sense?
If we're not selling the house, we're selling a contract, how do we really get the contract?
Well, the way you get the contract is you go talk to somebody who needs to sell. Now, I specialize in pre-foreclosures, but it doesn't have to be a pre-foreclosure. For instance, the house that I'm working on right now just was an elderly lady. House flooded, she rehabbed it, but she's not a professional contractor, so she's tired of doing contract work. She was just motivated. I don't want to do nothing else, baby. Can you take this house off my hand? Yes, ma'am, I can. So what you do is you go sit down and you speak with her, and it's just a simple conversation. Mrs. Johnson, you know I'm an investor. I'm here to meet your needs and make a profit. I was wondering, what were you hoping I could do for you here today? And then you sit down and you listen to what she got to say. And she's going to tell you, well, got up in the years, my kids gone, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was wondering, I was hoping you could buy this house from me today. Well, that's definitely something we could talk about. What we need to know is, can we agree to a price? What kind of price were you asking for? And just keep in mind, as a professional investor, I don't buy retail homes. I don't buy homes at retail. I buy them at wholesale prices. And if you're okay with that, then we can possibly talk about getting to the next step. If not, I'll just pick my stuff up and leave now, because anything I say at this point doesn't really matter, because you're looking for a retail price, and I absolutely don't buy it retail. And that's how you get into that conversation. But speaking to more of what you're saying, if that's something that you really want to learn, then you just got to come and sit with us, get involved in the consultant services, and we'll get you squared away. It's just a matter of seeing it. It's a matter, and like, if you get involved with that, when I go in the house, you're gonna be standing right here. I'm gonna introduce you. My name is Damani, and this is Mr. What's your name, sir? This is Mr. Robert. This is my business partner, and we're here to just sit down and talk with you and see if we can come to an agreement in regards to the house, sir. Okay? You're gonna be right there. It ain't none of that. You're gonna watch it through a webinar. And ain't nothing wrong with webinars. Don't get me wrong, because they're great for saving time. But experience is the best teacher, and you can learn through a webinar. But I guarantee you learn much better if you sit in the house with me and we get put out together. Because sometimes you get put out. I'll be honest with you. Some people, sometimes you gotta have thick skin. Some people gonna curse you out. Some people gonna say, you gotta understand, these people's feelings are hurt about the people I'm working with. They're losing a house, and here you are. Especially if I look like this, you look like the banker. You look like the person who taking the house. And the thing is, but that's where your sense of humanity has to kick in. You have to actually care about the people. As much as I like making money, I actually care about families, because, these little kids, they might not know what's going on, but they sense the energy. Say, something ain't right with mama. She can't, she's snapping on us. Something ain't right. So if you can put that energy to rest, by being compassionate enough to solve a major problem in somebody's life, I tell you one thing, you'll never have to worry about eating in Houston. Like me right now, I done did it so many times in here. People see me like, man, you can come to the barbecue next weekend, because I took care of them. And you do it with integrity. And you got to actually really care. You really got to care. It's enough greed going on in the world. There really is. So the thing is, be the person who can make the difference. I do what I do because I love what I do. And I know I'm helping somebody. I could easily be in some type of other field, just money, money, money. I do what I do because I love solving a problem, and I've been through that problem. I'm speaking from experience. I've been through foreclosure to the point where I lost the house because I was so prideful in myself that when these helpers came to say, hey, look, we can get you out of this. Get away from my house. Ain't nobody taking my house. That's how I was addressing it. I know better now. And I'm here to offer that to somebody else. You don't have to go through that. Take this hand that somebody's helping you, and let's get you to your next chapter in life. And what we do, we pay for the move. We give you some time to move. It ain't as soon as we close, you got to be out in 2 days. We don't do it like that, because real life don't work like that. People got jobs that they can't move on this day. So we give them time, and we do everything we need to act in integrity. And see, and another thing in this business, don't say nothing that you can't do. It's very simple. Only do what you say you can do. Just don't promise, oh yeah, we're going to give you the high. Don't do that. People don't want to hear that. They've been lied to already. They don't want to hear that. What they want to hear is a true solution, what you can do, and when you say you're going to do something, just do that. I tell my people, hey, listen, you can call me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, except on Fridays. I'm off on Fridays. I don't do anything work-related on Friday. Any other day, you can call me. I won't call you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm going to call you once a week and update you once a week. That's on Sundays. It's going to be between 1 and 5 o'clock. I'll give you a call and update you. You set the expectation, and then you live up to it. And the thing is, just a quick scenario. I'm going to go through this just one time for anybody. Can I pick on you today? You're going to be a homeowner. I'm knocking on your door blindly. You're in foreclosure. You say whatever you want to say, and I'm going to respond to you so you guys can get a feel of what it takes. Knock, knock, knock.
Yes.
Is Mrs. Jones home?
Yes, that's
Mrs. Jones, my name is Damani. I'm a property specialist. I help people facing foreclosure. I noticed your name on the list of homes scheduled to be sold on the first Tuesday of the month, and I was wondering if you needed a hand.
I don't think so. I think I'm looking at other solutions right now.
Oh yeah, what are you working on? Are you working on a modification with the bank?
No.
No? Are you planning on filing bankruptcy?
I'm thinking about it.
Oh yeah? You know what happened in the bankruptcy, correct?
A little bit.
Well, what'll happen in the bankruptcy is all the debts that you presently have, what'll happen is that they'll take those debts and they'll bundle them. And instead of you making a bunch of little payments, you'll have to make one big large payment to a trustee. And if you don't make that payment to the trustee, then they stick you right back out on the foreclosure list, and you'll be in the same position. And I find that if most people can't make all of those small payments, it's probably gonna be hard for them to make that big payment. But I'm not saying that to spook you, I'm saying that to educate you. Let me do this. Let me be your plan B. You go ahead and you do the bankruptcy thing. And I know it's rude for me to just knock on your door, so if it's just as well as you, can I get your name and telephone number, and I'll just follow up with you every so often in the event that you need my services. Then you call me and say, hey, Damani, we need to sit down and talk. Fair enough? Okay,
Yeah.
Can I have your name and number?
Sure.
Thank you, man. That's how it goes. It's no magic. You gotta be a person. You gotta care. You can't be pushy. Don't be that salesperson. I'm in sales. What I'm trying to do, but it's not more of a hard sell, it's a compassionate sell. You know what I'm saying? Put some love in your heart, man. What the world need more love. You don't see all this gangsterism out here? The world need more love. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna win with love. You know, you're not gonna win with, look, if you'll show up to somebody's house and all you thinking about the money, you don't think they're gonna be able to smell that or feel that about you? Have you ever been around somebody that you knew all they wanted to do was get you to spend $1? Can you not feel that? I tell people, man, we're all energy. People can feel you. You ain't gotta say nothing. People, especially the babies, they definitely can feel you. Ever notice a baby? When he get around a shady person, shady people want to pick him up, the baby like, yeah, he can feel it. And it's the same thing with adults. People can feel you, so don't show up at somebody's house trying to steal something that don't belong to you. You're gonna help. You know, is there any other questions in regards to wholesaling that somebody's curious about? I'm open to any question you got. That's what we're here for. We're here, free education. And when we say free, we mean free. The thing is that in order to get the free part of the education, you gotta come here and ask us a question. Any questions? Anybody want some free education? Nah? Go ahead.
Another question. The wholesale about the contract, where do you get the contract from?
There's a bunch of different places. You can go online with the internet now, just type sample real estate contract. If you want one, myself, Courtney's a realtor here, we can provide you with a blank contract. You know, it's a bunch of ways that you can get a contract. Anytime, especially now in this era of time, anything you want, type it up on Google and hit sample or hit PDF behind it, and there'll probably be a file with a contract on it. The thing is that most contracts are in plain English. You gotta read them at least one time. And it might be some boring stuff, but you gotta read it at least one time so you understand what it is. And once you understand it, you're like, okay, then you employ it. Or you can get down with one of us and sit down, and like I say, those part of the services, if Courtney gonna sit down with you and explain what a contract is, we don't work for free. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. We don't mind helping people, but we do not work for free. You know, anytime I work, I expect to get paid. And anytime if I do some work for you, I expect to pay you. So just financial intelligence. If we're gonna be business partners, let's be business partners. If I tell you this is how much it costs for that, either you respect